welcome back to the Windwalker Homestead channel. In this episode of the drive home, we're going to answer the question, how do you purchase off-grid land? Now, just to be clear, we're talking about raw land, no utilities on it. Because if you buy a piece of land, it already has a building, a house on it, you know, it could technically be off-grid, but it already has some kind of domicile, you know, something like that on it, some kind of a building, and banks are really likely to go ahead and give you a mortgage for that. Now, you take all that away, and you just have raw land, you know, the banks aren't near as giving. From my research, you know, from me looking, different banks, different areas, doing the research, buying off-grid land. Banks will want anywhere from 30 to 50% down for a mortgage on a piece of land. Now, if you have, you know, 30 to 50% down, you know, that's fine, that's great. Go ahead and do it. But we're trying to get off-grid on a tight budget. So, you know, if we had, say, $15,000, $20,000 to put down on a piece of land that's 20 acres, you know, keep looking a little bit harder. Maybe you can end up paying cash for something that's more like 10 acres or 5. You know, just whatever it takes for you to actually get off-grid and be able to live the life you want. Another option, besides, you know, the going banks and then paying cash outright, is what's called a land contract, or, you know, they also call it like a rent-to-own, lease with purchase option, or you know, something like that, to where basically you make a deal with the owner of the property, and you can either agree on, you know, a down payment, or, you know, no down payment, depending on, you know, how much the owner's willing to work with you. And then you set up with a monthly payment, and depending on what your agreement is, you can either, you know, there may be other ways other than, you know, these three that I'm going to mention, but one option is where you would go ahead and pay, you know, monthly rent, so to speak, of, say, you know, let's just throw out $600, and you pay $600, and say 300 of it goes to rent, you know, so you're actually paying rent on that part, and then 300 of it would actually go towards the purchase. Personally, that's not my favorite thing to do, because you're essentially paying twice for the land. You know, the owner is getting, you know, twice the payments, especially if, you know, say they're selling you, you know, 10 acres for $10,000, and half of what you're paying is going towards that $10,000. That means half of what you're paying is just going into the owner's pocket. So, in a sense, you'll be paying $20,000 for a $10,000 piece of land. Now, another option is just flat-out owner financing. You know, just monthly payments. It all goes toward the purchase of the property. You know, you just fill out a contract that states, you know, you pay this amount of money, you know, each month, and on this day it'll be paid off. So a lot of the times those deals, you know, probably come with some kind of a down payment, and then, you know, the rest of it will just be negotiated in the contract. What we did is we did a rent-to-own, or what's basically, you know, a lease with option to buy. what we worked out was the first 2 years that we're paying on it, and living there, we're paying quote-unquote rent. You know, and that rent, all of that money, aside from that there was a 6% interest that the owner's charging, but all of the rest of that money is going directly towards a down payment, basically, of the property. And you know that the down payment, you know, is $30,000 for the full thing, $10,000 for the down payment. And so we basically, you know, split up the down payment into 24 months. So we paid on that. We're about ready to go into the into an actual land contract. But you know, the first 2 years went towards the down payment. Once we get up to $10,000, then we fill out the contract, fill out, you know, we exercise our option to buy. After that $10,000 is paid, the title gets sent from the owner to a title company, title and escrow or title company, and they hold on to the title. We make payments to them. You know, they in turn, you know, take whatever fees, and then they, you know, pay the owner. So there's no more payment between us and the owner. It's all through the title company. It's all legal documents and everything. And once everything's paid off, then of course we get the deed, the warranty deed. And then everything's, then the land is just ours and to do with what we please. Those are some of the different ways that you can purchase, you know, raw off-grid land. Even so, if you have any questions for me, go ahead and put it down in the comments. I'll do what I can to answer them. If enough people ask them, then of course I'll make a video. And we'll see you next time. Until then, keep kicking up dust.